afternoon. It's Wednesday, October 23rd, 2024. We apologize for starting the news late. Now, mental health is real. Seek help, end the stigma. On the news this afternoon, stakeholder calls for police intervention amid fears of retaliatory attacks in Ahoda, River State. Police arrest suspect over missing core member in River State. PDP shifts NEC meeting. Petrol stations in River State threaten shutdown over alleged tanker seizure by army. On the foreign scene, Iran executes four for selling contaminated alcohol. I'm Ifechuku Moylan with the news. Now, the President General of Orashi National Congress, Emeni Ibe, is calling on the River State government and security agencies to immediately put in measures to curb the killings, as there are plans by hoodlums to carry out retaliation attacks in the area. As you may know, at least 7 people were killed in some communities in the area, with some residents raising alarm that cult groups have invaded their domain. Mr. Ibe condemned the attacks in an interview with our correspondent.
I want to condemn unequivocally and appeal for government intervention and call on security agencies to intervene in the situation, as have uncovered plan by some persons to enrich more retaliation and other things are going on. I am abusing this medium to appeal to the Commissioner of Police, the Executive Governor of River State, to come to the aid and the pride of the people of Ahoda East. The area require emergency security measure. The situation cannot be allowed to continue.
Meanwhile, the police say they are investigating the recent killings in Ahoda East local government area of River State. Police spokesperson in the state, Grace Iringikoko, made this known to our correspondent. In another development, the River State Police Command says it has arrested 4 people in connection with the missing NYSC member Yahaya Farouk 7 at Mixed Secondary School in Ikuru Town, Andoni local government area of the state. The public relations officer of the command, Grace Iringikoko, made this known in a statement. She said the suspect had been transferred to the State Criminal Investigation and Intelligence Department. Recall that the Muslim Students Society of Nigeria Edo Central Area Council in a statement said Mr. Farouk was last seen on October 14 when he signed in at his part-time workplace. The group said the core member signed in but did not sign out. The statement alleged that the company returned his bag and phone to his place of primary assignment, the Mixed Secondary School in Ikuru Town, but could not give an account of his whereabouts. The statement called on anyone with useful information to reach them or get to the nearest police stations in the state. Moving on now, a petrol tanker fell around the Rumokuta axis of Port Harcourt metropolis this morning. It caused panic among residents as it began spilling fuel, raising fears of a potential explosion. An eyewitness said the fire service department later arrived at the scene. Another oil tanker, is said to have helped transfer the product from the fallen tanker. Meanwhile, petrol station owners in River State are threatening to shut down operations over an alleged seizure of their tankers and discharge of 130,000 liters of diesel. Chairman, Petroleum Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria, Petro One in River State, Francis Dimba, made the threat. Mr. Dimba explained that 2 tankers were leaving the Onair Depot, Eleme local government area of the state, when they were allegedly seized by men of the 6th Division Nigerian Army and taken to their headquarters in Port Harcourt. He said that the association met with the Nigerian Army and an agreement was reached that the Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission should obtain samples from the tankers for investigation. He said they got a call a few days later from the 6th Division asking them to pick up the tanker at Ahoda, but when they got there, the tankers were empty. Elsewhere, Jigawa State Governor Umar Namadi says the death toll from last week's tanker explosion has risen to 181. He said the explosion has also affected about 210 families and left around 80 people hospitalized. Governor Namadi shared these details with journalists following a closed-door meeting with President Bola Tinubu at the Aso Rock Villa in Abuja. He said his visit was to update the president, who was in Europe on a working leave at the time of the incident. Away from that, economic activities are expected to resume in the southeast region today after it was halted on Monday and Tuesday following a sit-at-home order by an unknown group. Shops, offices, schools, and markets were all shut down for the 2 days in Anambra, Abia State, and other southeast state. For some traders in Aba, Abia State, it was frustrating not being able to do business for those 2 days. Others who did not comply with the sit-at-home order admitted that the situation still affected their business.
I don't really believe in this sit-at-home. I don't enjoy it at all because as we are selling fruit now, this is perishable as you can see. And we normally buy them on credit so that we'll be able to sell and pay to the importer. So sitting at home now is not really helping us at all.
This thing they do, you know, good at all, because also nobody what you get chop. One working chop, no gonna fee chop. This can't do. You know, good. This thing people hunger the way people none.
The situations is not helping. You understand me? Because we are killing our economy. Because there is no benefit for me.
Despite the compliance, separatist group Indigenous People of Biafra IPOB denies declaring this week's sit-at-home exercise. As you may know, IPOB is a group agitating for the independent state of Biafra, which it once carved out from the southeast and some part of south Nigeria. They first introduced a sit-at-home order every Monday across the southeast in August 2021 to pressure the federal government to release its detained leader, Nnamdi Kanu, who is being tried for terrorism at the Federal High Court in Abuja. The group was prescribed as a terrorist group in 2017. Still to come, federal government drops money laundering charges against Binance executive. Stay with us. House of Representatives member Bernard Mikkel has condemned any attempt to block monthly allocations to local government areas in Rivers State, calling such actions illegal and unacceptable to the people. Mr. Mikkel said this in response to an alleged plot by allies of the FCT minister in Somwike to secure a court injunction stopping the allocations. Speaking on Nigerian FM's Morning Crossfire, Mr. Mikkel said every court decision must align with the Constitution and the rule of law.
But however, it remains a speculation. But I can assure you that any act to allocation going to local government, as we are seeing in Kano, will be an act of not only illegality but illegitimate, and it will be rejected by Nigerian people. The court is governed by the rule of law, and that is the essence of our democracy. The Constitution is the ground norm. So every court, every rule of the court, every court judgment must align with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Mr. Mikkel also explained that if such a plan materializes, the state could resort to self-help by utilizing its own resources.
If that happens, the state concerned, particularly River State, can resort to self-help. And the first law of nature is that of self-preservation. So what the state can do is to preserve their essence, their dignity, their culture and heritage by harvesting all the resources of the state and in a proper negotiation, pay 3 or 13% to the federal as it was before, instead of the 50%. That is what the state can do.
In the meantime, the federal government has announced it will review state laws governing local government elections and investigate the delays by some state government in conducting these elections. Attorney General of the Federation Lateef Fagbemi made the statement in Ekiti State, emphasizing that there will be no reversal of the plan to implement the Supreme Court 24th October to 28th November. Now, this decision was reached during an enlarged meeting of the PDP Governors Forum yesterday at the Bauchi State Governors Lodge in Abuja. A communique signed by the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum and Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed said the postponement is to ensure that the party goes into the forthcoming Ondo gubernatorial elections on 16th November with the unity and strength needed to unseat the APC government in the state. The PDP also called on all members to avoid divisive comment. Key organs of the party, including the PDP Governors Forum, the Board of Trustees, and the National Working Committee, were in attendance. In other news, the federal government today withdrew the money laundering charges brought against Binance Holdings Limited executive Tigran Gambarian. Mr. Gambarian, who is the Binance U.S. head of Financial Crime Compliance and the Exchange British Kenyan Regional Manager for Africa Nadeem Anjarwala, were facing money laundering charges to the tune of $35 million brought against them by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. And now straight to business. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has reduced Nigeria's growth prospect over low crude oil production and severe flooding, among other challenges currently affecting the country's economy. The fund, in its recently published World Economic Outlook, noted that Nigeria's growth prospect for 2024 dropped by 2.9% from 3.3%. It blamed the downgrade particularly on the effect of recent inflation, flooding, and oil production setbacks. And now straight to entertainment. Singer Davido is set to release his new single, Awuke, on October 31st. The release date of the single featuring U.S. singer YG Marley was confirmed in an Instagram post on Tuesday. And now to sport. Basketball legend LeBron James and his son Bronny made history after they became the first father-son duo to share the court in an NBA game during the Los Angeles Lakers season opener against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And now on the international scene, Iranian authorities today executed 4 individuals for selling contaminated bootleg alcohol that resulted in the deaths of 17 people last year. The judiciary announced that the executions took place at Karaj Central Prison. That's a wrap on the news this afternoon. Before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. A stakeholder has called for police intervention amid fears of retaliatory attacks in Ahoda, River State. The police have arrested 4 suspects over missing corps member in River State. The PDP has shifted its NEC meeting. Petrol stations in River State have threatened to shut down over alleged tanker seizure by the army. On the foreign scene, you heard Iran has executed 4 people for selling contaminated alcohol. The news was edited by Martha Okere. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Ifechukwu Moyali. Many thanks for listening.